Well, good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today, as promised, I'm going to be going over a 1960s magazine. Now, this is an original 1960s magazine, so what you're going to see is not a reproduction, it's the original one. My mother had this, and today we're going over Vogue knitting. And on the front, this is a knitted shell, and it does have a little sparkle to it. I'm not sure if you can tell, but the leaves have a sparkle to it. It could be a bead or it could be a sequin. So let's open this up and see what we find. The first thing that we are going to find is an advertisement, and it's very, very basic. It's an advertisement for yarn. At the very bottom, you can tell. It talks about yarn and how to care for yarn. No, bright colors or anything else. And then you move into things that you can order online, but they're patterns. You order the patterns and you knit or well, this is knitting, so you would knit these items yourself. Now, and again, this is not sponsored by this magazine. It's not sponsored by Vogue. But this company is called Unger. I'm not even sure if they exist, but you can see that they have all different type of patterns. Excuse me. And then they have the yarn in the middle. And I'm sure you could fill this out. You can order. And what does it say? Yes, you just order the yarn and the pattern. And also, you can get, it says, please send me Unger's fashion instruction book, number 27. Now, I'm sure that means there were many before that. And it was $1. Now, back then, that could have been pretty pricey. So let's move on, and we're going to see what else they have. Well, we have some models, and they are going through and showing us different things they're wearing. Again, all of this is knitted. They have, this lady's wearing, it's a sweater that someone has knitted. It also shows exactly what you would need to buy to knit the sweater. Lots of instructions, but you have to order the pattern, which would be the detailed instructions on how to knit that. And this one is by Brunswick. Not sure if they're around anymore. And again, I want to tell you, oh, and also they made sure and put it was pure virgin wool at the bottom. Now, personally, I think wool's itchy, but some people like it. And maybe they wore I'm sure they wore a slip underneath, and that was very big in the 60s. You had to have a slip or a camisole. You didn't just put on a dress. The next thing is Paula Denim. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this is, you can send $1 for the Spring Knit book collection number 24 and sweater book number 25. But you have, if you're outside the United States, you had to add a quarter. So plus 25% outside 25 cents outside the United States. Now, this is from Paula Denim Yarns Inc. It was in California or Massachusetts. Again, these are dresses, and you order the book. It will tell you how to make these, and it will also tell you the supplies that you need. Very interesting. A lot of knitted items. Again, I remember my mother sitting and knitting forever, and I have a lot of these things. Now, this is just a black and white ad, and it says, why closely knit families, pun intended, love Susan Bates and vice versa. Now, in the 60s, families did things together. Obviously, this is a marketing tip to say that even families, every member of the family can sit and knit together. So, and you see, it's plain, just there's no color to it, just plain. Not every page in here is color, because I'm sure it was much, much more expensive. Here's another one by Diamond Yarn Corporation out of Florida, New York, or Los Angeles. You can order yarn. Okay, the leaflet that you would need to make these items, okay, is 25 cents. And then you had different patterns at different prices. You could have men's items for 75 cents. These are the instructions. Children's items for $1. And you would fill this out at the bottom. It's a little order form. Cut it out of your magazine, fill it out, send a check, and they would mail you all the instructions. And you would go to your local knit shop or crochet shop, and you would yarn shop, and you would buy all these items. Now, the next one, these are, okay, this Pauline Denham, she also has, this company has, you could knit, you could knit cotton dresses. So you wouldn't want to wear wool, because she was the one that had the 100% virgin wool. You would not want to wear wool in the summer. So you could actually, you could knit dresses or shirts or shells, and it would be cooler, depending on where you live. Now, this is what's really Vogue knitting. All of these ads are before the table of contents. Very clever. Now, this magazine is Spring, Summer, 1967, late 60s, mid to late 60s. And they go through and they show all types of different things. And like I said, I'm not going through every page, but everything that you can knit for your wardrobe. People knew how to wash, wear, dry, and they were very talented in knitting. Again, my mother knitted a lot. And later on in the review that I have in this part this week, I'm going to show you some of the things she knitted. Afghans, anything you can imagine, she knitted. Now, here, they knitted suits. Oh, these are just not cooperating today. They knitted suits. So you can see, and also note the colors. That was the 60s. It was not all neon and, flash and everything else. They were the subdued colors from the late 50s into the 60s. Now, there were neon colors in the 60s, yes, but not everyone had that. Also, a lot of black and white ads, nothing flashy, nothing, not much color, not any color on this one. Another thing that you'll notice is, and I'll let you see, this part, all models are always extremely thin because they want to showcase the fashion and not the figure. Now, some models today, it's different, but back then they were showcasing the fashion and not the figure. They had higher necklines on some of them. Here are suits. You could knit a suit. Now, you know that this had to take a long time to knit a suit. But this yarn was made in the United States, and ladies would get together and have knitting clubs. They would sit at night and knit. They would plan ahead if they had an event. I remember family members, especially my mother and her sister, would get together, and if they were going to an after 5 event, they would coordinate. They would not wear the same dress or the same knitted product or color, but they would sit and knit together. Well, that's it for today. This is basically just moving on to the Vogue knitting. I'll go through some more of the Vogue knitting in the next video, and then we'll jump into the Woman's Day magazine. I appreciate you stopping by. If you found this interesting, this step back in time, give me a thumbs up, and also in the comments below, let me know if you knit. Did your mother or grandmother or aunt knit? Do they still knit now? What different things have you made, or do you have items that your mother or grandmother made? take a minute and subscribe to the channel. I have different type videos. I'm Sugar with Sugar in the Attic, and I hope to see you on the next video.